So hello YouTube, I hope everyone is doing fantastic. It's Califax here and I'm back with another outlook. So today we're just gonna go over some of these pairs that we usually do outlooks on. We're gonna look, basically we're just gonna see what the next week has for us, and um, and I'm gonna add a new pair today. Actually, we're gonna look at a different pair than usual, and I hope you guys stay tuned for it. So let's start with Euro USD. As we always do, I'm gonna start from the weekly time frame. So quickly, just looking at the weekly time frame, we can clearly see we had this nice weekly change of character to the downside. Price came back, mitigated the supply zone, and now we expected to see that bearish continuation all the way down to take out the weekly previous low. So that's just simple as that. We can see price actually had tapped at a weekly supply zone, monthly supply zone. Then we come down to weekly. Weekly gives us a change of character to the downside, which is the first sign of bearish intention. And price came back to mitigate the supply zone. We're expecting to see that bearish continuation all the way down to the weekly previous low. So we drop down to the daily time frame. We want to understand what's going on within that weekly range. So we can see that we had a daily change of character, mitigation, second break of structure, mitigation. We expected to see that push all the way down into the previous low. So that's just on the daily time frame for Euro USD. Now we have this daily bearish order flow, which clearly shows us that the overall intention on Euro USD is bearish. Now, some people will ask always, what is my range right here? What is my daily range? So we're gonna we're gonna pinpoint the daily swing structure right here. We have this high and we have this low. So this right here, this is our range high and this is the daily range low. So what's going on right now is that we're trading within this range. So within the daily range, we want to understand what's going on the hourly time frame, such as 4 hour. So we're gonna drop down to 4 hour time frame, and we can see that once price had tapped that daily supply zone, we had a very nice change of character to the downside. Price pulled back, just actually mitigated the bottom of this little internal range right here, and then continued to push down. But now we can see that this high is about to be used as inducement for price to come into this supply zone, and then we have that drop to the downside. So that's basically what I'm expecting on Euro USD for the next week, is for price to come to the 4 hour supply zone. What we're going to do next, we're going to wait for medium time frame structure shift. I want to see that M15 change of character to the downside. Okay, so that's it for Euro USD. Let's move to the next pair. So Aussie dollar, we're going to look at it from the weekly time frame as well. We want to see, let me just go to the monthly, right? Because I know some people ask me to, if I could, to go all the way up on the time frame. So let's look at the monthly. Just on Aussie dollar, we can see that we had this nice break of structure, mitigation, second break of structure, price mitigated the extreme right here of this range high. So then we started to see price pushing all the way down. So when you look at the higher time frame intention on Aussie dollar, the intention actually is to see price coming all the way down to take out this monthly previous low. That's the main intention right here on the monthly. We drop down to the weekly. Let's see what's going on in the weekly. We can see bearish structure, bearish order flow, clear bearish order flow right here. So we can see that monthly, weekly, bearish. We drop to daily time frame, right? So on the daily time frame, what we can see basically is we have this nice bearish chain right here. We had a nice break, mitigation, second break of structure, but then we had this internal change of character right here. So price actually is coming towards this extreme supply zone, which is the chalk POI, right? So that's the chalk POI. We want to see price come here, and then we have that push to the downside. So this is on the daily. So what I'm waiting for as of now is I want to drop down, for example, to 2 hours time frame. And what I'm expecting to see at first, I want to see a structure shift on the hourly. For example, right now, I can see that we have this high, and then we have this low, and then we have the high right here. So I would love to see price coming all the way down, violate this previous low, so then we can have the change of character. So what I'm waiting patiently for Aussie dollar. I want to see that structure shift right here on the hour. I need to see that change of character before I start to take long-term sales, okay? So we need to be patient at this time for Aussie dollar. So that's it for Aussie dollar. Let's move to the next page. So pound dollar, we're gonna look at it from the weekly as well. I mean, I think the weekly is just like the day on the Euro USD. Is the same thing that is going on. Price tapped at a monthly supply zone. Weekly gives us a change of character, which is the sign of bearish intention in the market. So price then came back to mitigate the weekly supply. We're expecting to see that continuation eventually to the downside to take out the weekly previous low. So that's the weekly range high, range low. Let's understand what's going on within that range. So we drop down to the daily time frame. Right, so we're coming to the daily time frame. Price gives us this beautiful change of character, right? So we have this nice break. Price comes right here at the extreme. So then we have now we're starting to see this push to the downside. So this is our daily high and daily low. That's the range, bearish range. So let's see what's going on the 4 hour. Right, so I need you guys to always do this play when you're doing a breakdown on any pair that you like. Always start from the weekly, just to understand what's the overall intention for the months ahead, right? You want to see if it's bullish or bearish, and then you go step by step all the way down to 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, we just had this beautiful 4 hour change of character. Once price had tapped the daily supply zone, we have the 4 hour change of character. Now we're seeing price come into this 4 hour supply. The idea then is to see price come, tap this supply zone. I want to see an M15 change of character right here, which is the medium time frame. And then we have that push to the downside. Okay, simple as that on pound dollar, right? So I'm waiting for price to tap that supply. We're gonna wait for M30 or M15 change of character so we can sell on the lower time frame. So for those that don't want to go to lower time frame, just look for a nice clean M15 change of character and then take the trade. It's good. Okay, so that's it for GU. Let's move to the next pair. So next pair is New Zealand dollar. We're also gonna look at it from the weekly. I mean, I think the weekly says it all. I mean, just by looking at it, anybody can tell me that the overall intention is bearish, right? The intention right here is bearish. So we have this nice break, mitigation, second break, and then mitigation. Now, price comes to this weekly supply zone. What do we do next? We drop down to the daily time frame. So I come right here to the daily. We can see that we have this bearish chain right here. We have the change of character, mitigation, then second break of structure. Price comes to this supply zone. So we can see that the overall the intention, even from the weekly, daily is bearish. Then we say, okay, price came to my daily supply zone. What am I expecting next? 4 hour change of character. So I drop down to 4 hour time frame. And what I can see is that price just gives this huge change of character right here. So what I'm expecting to see is price coming into this zone. I want to have that M15 change of character before I drop down to lower time frames. So as of now, what we need the most is patience. We need to wait for price to come to these supply zones, wait for our medium time frame structure shift before we jump into the lower time frames, okay? So that's it for New Zealand dollar. Let's go to the next pair. So our next pair of today is going to be Euro CAD. I know this is a pair that not many people trade, but actually it's a very good pair that has a very good price action. So with this one, I'm just gonna look at it from the daily time frame. I believe that's all we need. As of now, we can see that we had this nice bearish, order flow right here. Price broke structure, it pulled back, and then it created a second break of structure. So this is what happens when I talk about inducement, is that sometimes we can see price pulling back, create another break of structure, and I believe a lot of people had ordered somewhere here on these order blocks, and then they got liquidated because price ended up using this high as inducement. And a lot of the times this happens because if you look here, we had the break, and there was a lot of imbalances right here that price failed to fill. So eventually now price just came to collect that imbalance orders right here from these people, and then we're starting to see that push all the way down. So that's the main intention right here. Is very clear price action on EuroCAD, and we can see that this right here is like the, I should say, the swing structure flow, the bearish of the flow, and then we have this nice daily internal change of character right here. So we have this nice break, price comes to the supply zone here, and now we're gonna have to look for a confirmation on the lower time frames. So let's drop down to the 4 hour right here. So what we need to do as of now is we gotta look at it at, let's see, for example, we gotta look at the structure flow on the 4 hour. So we have this 4 hour change of character, price then came back to this blue candle. We can see this was the order block. So I'm gonna say, okay, price gave a change of character, and then we had a mitigation. Then we had a second break of structure right here, and then we can see the ton of imbalances that is sitting above. So where is the order block? Here we have the order block right here. So this is the order block that we have right here as of now. So let me mark this as POI. So that's the POI right here. So we have a break, mitigation, second break of structure. So what I'm waiting to see is price coming into this supply zone, and then we have a push to the downside. So once price comes to my 4 hour, what I'm waiting for is a M15 change of character. It can be M15 or M30. I want to see that medium time frame structure shift to the downside. Okay, so it's simple as that on EuroCAD. We start from the daily. We see daily is bearish. 4 hour, we can see that the structure has turned from bullish right here. We had up to this point, we had this low high, it was bullish, but then we had a change of character, mitigation, second break of structure. We're expecting price to come here. Medium time frame, we're gonna wait for M15 change of character, and then we take the trade. Okay, so let's go to the last pair. So our last pair is going to be gold, as it always has been. And I mean, for gold, I can even start from the daily time frame. We can see that, I mean, gold is on a strong bullish order flow. It's just, I mean, it's very strong against the dollar, and we can see that we had this nice break of structure right here. Price came back, and now we're seeing price continue to push up. Now, if we come, for example, to 4 hour time frame, we can see that within that daily range, we have this 4 hour bearish order flow. We had a break, mitigation, second break, mitigation, third break of structure, but this is all internal price action. Now, gold is just pushing up. I believe eventually we may start to have some sort of pullback towards this zone, and then we have the continuation to the upside. And this also can correlate, for example, for those that trade break and retest. I believe this would have been the zone where price had came here, pulled back, then had a lot of reaction before this breakout. So most likely it's going to pull back at least to these areas right here, and then we have the continuation to the upside, right? But for SMC purposes, right, I'm actually considering this whole zone right here, because this actually was the last zone. As far as we can see, we had a lot of accumulation here. This was a range in market, so that's when a lot of orders were accumulated in the market, and then we can see the breakout and price just continues to push up. So we can see that there was a conflict of power at this particular point, the buyers and sellers discussing, and then we see the buyers actually took over and pushed price to the upside. So what I'm expecting eventually is to see a pullback towards these zones, and then we have their continuation to the upside towards that daily previous high. Okay, so that's it for the breakdown, guys. I hope you guys have a very good month of July. I hope you guys smash this month. We actually on our way to the end of the year. This is the 7th month of the year, so we still have a lot to do throughout the year. So I hope you guys stay consistent, stay focused, and I hope you guys have a great week. So if you guys enjoyed the video, let's smash the like button, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And guys, don't forget, we got the mentorship, the Discord that is buzzing, and also we have the monthly subscription, right? That's the 3 months. So for those people who don't want to stay the year or lifetime, you can just come and join us for like 2 or 3 months, and it's very affordable. So if you're interested, DM is on the description box below, and I'm gonna see you next time.